97.1. Nice to have you with us on a Tuesday. National title game was a doozy last night. If you were awake for it, that's the key.
Yes, sir.
Let's get this thing started. Because, look, there's so much to talk about with this game. And I know Terry's got some thoughts about North and South and all of that. And we'll get to that in a second. But I want to ask you, the people, a question. And it's very, very simple. Game was unbelievable. Did you make it to the end? And do you have a problem with the pace of play? Clemson ran almost 100 offensive snaps last night. The game lasted well over 4 hours. Now, if you're a football junkie like some of us, you deal with it because it truly was a fantastic football game. But if you're just a person who likes college football and certainly enjoys football in general, that 6 a.m. wake-up call, the kids, your life, I'm sorry. They make these games really hard to stay up for. So I'm asking you, because I don't have the answer, how do we make football fast again? How do we get a football game that just lasts about 2 hours and 45 minutes to 3 hours? How do we do it? What's the secret? And you can't say no commercials. Stop it right now.
But that's a part of it. Commercials and, things presented by Home Depot, and it's a production. I have to imagine the national championship game has become like the Super Bowl. There's all this advertisement, all these things to delay a game. Oh, and by the way, there just happens to be this football game in the middle of it.
Well, I have a solution. I'll throw the number out, 248-539-9797. It's only a part of what we're going to talk about with the national title, and also we got to get into the Lions. Plenty left to talk about with them. But if you want a solution to make the college game go faster, and I know if you've been in Ann Arbor for a night game versus Notre Dame, or you've been in East Lansing for the night games against Wisconsin or any of the other opponents, you know that these games are taking over 4 hours. You know you're not leaving the stadium till after midnight. So here's my solution to you. We got to have a running clock. No more clock stoppages at first downs. We got to have an NFL clock. Play the game. The college game is already higher tempo. Clemson last night running over 90 offensive plays. When you're stopping the clock every first down for ready play, how much time are you actually burning over the course of a game? Clemson, at one point, I believe in the third quarter, had 17 first downs in a quarter. In the NFL, you don't even get to 17.
Right.
So I'm offering you one solution that ensures you could have gotten to bed by 11:15 last night. 248-539-9797. Terry, do you agree, disagree?
It's a good plan because, you like you said, 17 first downs in one quarter. That's ridiculous. You could have a drive where you get a first down or two and only burn 2 minutes off the clock because of the stoppage of play. Let's play more like the NFL. It's ridiculous, and it just gets too long. Here's my problem, though. When you look at the World Series, national championship game, people don't see the end of it. Kids don't see the end of it. People with normal jobs don't see the end of it because, a lot of people like to go to bed at 11:30 at the latest. So last night, do you know how long Clemson led Monday night during the game? 0 minutes and 0 seconds. They never led until Tuesday morning. That's ridiculous. But that's the reality of things.
Well, I've presented an idea. I'd like to hear from the people. And the second part of last night, and maybe you think I'm nuts and I couldn't believe I felt this way. Towards the end there, as it was unwinding, I actually felt bad for Nick Saban. Like, I understand the dude is the devil, and I understand I'm supposed to hate him. I don't. I've never hated Nick Saban. I didn't hate him when he left state. I don't.
It really doesn't matter what
Nick,
you think.
Nick, come on.
Did you understand it at the time?
Yes.
Okay.
Because our president was a goofball. The point is, his job, they have one goal. Anything else is complete and utter failure. Anything but the national title, it is an abomination. Win 12 games, don't care. Win the SEC, don't care. Make the playoff, don't care. And as that final drive was unfolding, you saw the stress heaped upon that man. And I know what you're going to say. He makes $6 million a year. Noted. You're right. It doesn't mean I can't look at it and go, man, I don't want to be in that dude's shoes today. Now, they lose that game on the last play of the college football season. Like, that was it. They had gone down the field to retake the lead with an unbelievable drive and an unbelievable play by Jalen Hurts. That's so Alabama. Like, that's what they do. They drive the knife in. And then Clemson comes right back down the field, and now you've got one snap to get to overtime. If they stop Clemson there, Dabo's kicking the field goal, you're going to OT. And they lost.
He's got to answer questions about the offensive coordinator. He's got to answer a lot of questions. You know, people in Bama are ticked off. Here's what they're, once again, we go back to the officials. They're upset about 2 of the touchdowns last night where they say there are created pick plays. They lost because of pick plays. Was that a rub at the end or a pick play?
No, it's a
the
pick
Alabama people are saying it's not a rub. It's a pick play. It's illegal. And, that's what they're angry about.
That's nice. Don't give up half 1,000 yards. I don't want to hear it. Deshaun Watson threw for over 400 yards. Please. I don't want to hear it.
Okay, I'm just telling you what's happening, brother.
They let him get down the field, get to the 2-yard line. I mean, give me a break. It's ridiculous.
I know pace of play was bad, but how could anyone go to bed last night watching that game?
Mike, because they're not a 23-year-old putz like you are who works in the afternoons.
No, because it makes me mad because one of my best friends, his name is Sean, went to bed in the 3rd quarter of the game when it was close. I'm like, dude, what are you doing?
What does Sean do? What does Sean do for a living?
He works in banking.
Okay, what time does he get up in the morning?
He's up by 6.
Shut your mouth.
No, but this is such a rare situation where you have to stay up.
Mike, it's sports. There are more important things. When Sean is getting up and put a necktie on, you're busy rolling around in bed. Stop it.
Still, make an exception.
There is no exception.
No, because that makes me mad because he did the same thing for Game 7 of the World Series. You're missing these great games that your kids are going to ask you about one day.
Because your boy has a job.
Yeah. I believe I have a job, too.
You don't have to be up at 6, Tito.
6?
I was up at 6 a.m. this morning preparing for the show. Yes, I was.
And did you go back to bed?
I did not.
Okay.
I'm just
such a liar,
I wasn't
dude.
up at 6.
You're a liar. But how do you fix pace of play, though?
I really agree with what you said about after first downs with the clock. Also, I mean, look, there has to be something with the replay system. It just takes so long to do. I don't know why it takes remotely or even close to this long when most fans at home can see 1 or 2, maybe 3 replays and be like, oh, that's clearly what the call is. I don't know what the officials are doing where it takes them forever to get the ball respotted and to get that decision figured out. That process has got to expedite somehow.
Okay, so you've got replay as a part of it. I've offered you that I want the NFL running clock. No more stoppages on first downs. But part 2 of this is it possible to feel sympathy for Nick Saban? Did anyone else watch that and go, damn, that sucks?
No.
Or did everyone dance around and just go to hell with him? He's the devil, ba, 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 ba. I actually looked at that and I went, damn. As much as I hate Bama, I'm tired of them, nobody deserves to lose like that. Like Clemson lost a game this year. Clemson got to be imperfect. Bama did everything right the entire way. And they get to that moment with the lead, and to lose like that was ice cold.
Make one more play. That's all. That's what you have to do. You know what? Sports is cruel a lot of times. And a guy like Nick Saban, who's making all that bank, who has someone paying for his house, who is the king of Alabama, I don't feel any sympathy. That's the way it is. Your job is to win a national title. Most years, you're going to fail because I would imagine, as his career progresses, there's going to be more years he doesn't win a national title than years he does win it. But that's okay. That's why they pay him the big bucks. Alabama football is getting paid, is rolling around in money, and so is Nick Saban. I'm fine with it. That's just the way it is.
248-539-9797. Sully, you need to apologize to your friend. Real people went to bed.
No,
and
no
it's
way.
Acceptable. Not in our position, but it's acceptable for the average person.
No, if it's a Tigers game or something like that where there's a ton of them, then fine. But the national title game, stay up and watch it.
Oh my God!
Does he have to wake up in the morning and talk about the game, or is he going to go in and make some bank decisions.
I'm sure part of his job is networking and talking to people about the game. And when a lender or a client comes up to him and he can't talk about it because he didn't watch it, that would affect his job.
You do realize
come on
a vast majority of people in Metro Detroit did not watch that game, right? You do realize
and
that.
I think they're crazy.
No, they're not. It's called Clemson versus Alabama, and they don't care. Because Lord knows a school up here is never going to go. OSU's the only one. That's the deal.
It's worth staying up, and there's plenty of people on the ticket text that agree with me right now.
Yeah, there's a good barometer for society. That's nice.
You see, that's what I was thinking last night. The level of talent and the athletes on the field was so outrageous. I just thought this is something that no Michigan school can ever reach. It's a level of play that they'll never get to because it was just so crazy last night.
All right, I'm warning you with what you just said, what you're going to deal with.
What? What am I going to deal with?
You really don't recognize it?
Oh, you talking about blue?
Yeah.
I just think that the way college football is set up now, that Michigan or Michigan State cannot reach this level of play. This is big boy school last night. Clemson, Alabama, both Southern schools getting all those athletes, some of the advantages that you had talked about. This conference outside of Ohio State can never reach this level. Look at Ohio State and look at Michigan Michigan State the last two times. 69-0. When you combine the two games.
2 years ago with their third string
I'm talking
QB.
about what we saw recently.
Yeah, 2 years ago.
Can Michigan or Michigan State ever reach that level, even the level that Ohio State faced a few years ago? Maybe Ohio State can do it again.
Not MSU.
They're on the cusp of being in the South. They're just in Southern Ohio, so they're close to Tennessee, Kentucky, the SEC, the ACC. I just don't think that Michigan or Michigan State can ever reach that unless they're both willing to become a little bit seedy. First of all, you're in the North. Second, you're in the Big Ten. Big Ten's a little overrated. Big Ten does have some scruples about it, and I applaud that, but it hurts you on the field. This is pro football that they're playing, and I just don't see any of our teams being able to reach that.
248-539-9797.